All right. I'm Chase. This is my 2013 Dyna Fat Bob 103. And man, does she run. What's the fastest bike you've ever been on? Well, let's be specific. Let's say off the line speed, 0 to 60, and top speed. What's the fastest you've ever ridden? Top speed wise. Top speed, the fastest I've ever been, I don't know. I think 140. This bike only goes a $120 topped out. Supposedly it'll do that, but I don't know if it'll actually do that. I've been 100 on this bike, that's for sure. Doing a ton it's not hard on this bike at all. It's got so much idiotic power that you could kill yourself doing it. And 0 to 60, I think this would smoke my 600. I had a Ninja 600. I think this would smoke it. I mean, that was a lighter bike, but this has so much torque off the line, it is insane. I have a step-up seat on here, and man, the thing, you can feel the seat collapse if you yank that throttle a little too hard. And I'm sure I could bring the wheel up. I'm not into wheeling stuff because, well, that just breaks shit, and I don't want to break anything and blow the fork seals out or anything like that, because this bike is heavy as hell. And it's got the heavy forks and the heavy rim and the heavy wheel. Zero to 60, this thing would definitely smoke just about anything I've ever had. Now, top speed, that Ninja 600, it would eat this thing alive. After 60, that Ninja it took off like a rocket. But that's Japanese bikes, metrics, they seem to run. The more revs you throw in them, the faster they get. So and there's some dummy pulling out. I'm glad I slowed down. But yeah, maybe we should throw in handling. What's the best handling bike you've ever had? That would definitely go to my Aprilia. That bike handled like nothing else I've ever had. Of course, I've had that Ninja 600. I didn't like the way it handled as much. It handled great. It just couldn't beat that Aprilia. It was a 750 something. I think it was it's been a long time. It's like 10 years. But this bike actually, I'd say it handles fairly good. It handles better than both my Sportsters, I'll say that. Suspension is about 10 times better. I can hit a bump on this and not injure my spine. I have the suspension dialed all the way down to 1. That's where it's on the least stiffest setting, I think. The rear suspension. I don't feel like somebody sat there and beat me in the back with a baseball bat if I go for more than an hour ride. maybe you've never tried to do anything on your motorcycle. Have you ever tried to go fast? You ever pushed it just a little bit? If not, that's fine. Some of us have a little bit of idiot inside of us, and we just like to test the limits a little bit. Man, it is a beautiful day out. This is perfect, really. Temperature is just about right. I think it's about 75 degrees. Oh, just absolutely beautiful weather. We had rain for what seemed like more than a week. But what's your fastest bike, the fastest bike you've ever ridden? 0 to 60? What's your top speed? What's the fastest top speed you've ever went on a motorcycle? Me, it was a $140. After that, I decided that was probably fast enough, and I was already taking things a little too far, so I decided I was going to quit. I only did it once. At that point, a speeding ticket, it would have been loss of license, I'm sure. My Sportsters, the 883, that thing was slow. Very, very, very slow. I mean, it still was a motorcycle, and it's fast. It's faster than most cars, but compared to everything else I've had, and I've had 5 bikes, it was definitely by far the slowest. This, it might be tied with the Aprilia. Maybe the Aprilia was a little bit faster. I think it was just a hair, 0 to 60. Top speed, it was definitely faster. But this is definitely my favorite bike I've ever had. It's a bike I looked at and always wanted, so I got it. But if you're looking for something that's going to do a top speed, a Harley isn't for you. But torque to move the earth, that's what Harleys are about. Sometimes I'll mess up and I won't shift all the way down into first gear, and I'll be in second sitting in a light. And I'll start off from second. It just has that much torque, and it has no problem starting off from second like it's in first. And that helps with 0 to 60, I guess. That Aprilia had a low down torque too, so. But if I guess it just depends on what you're looking for. But go ahead in the comments and let me know, what was the fastest bike you've ever had? 0 to 60, top speed. What was the best handling bike you've ever had? I'm always interested to know, everybody else's views on things. I'd say this one's middle of the pack out of the 5 that I've owned. The Aprilia handled the best by far. My brother commented on it. It handled better than his Yamaha. It handled better than my Kawasaki. It just handled way better. Now, granted, they probably use better stuff, better suspension components than everybody else, but that's why they're so expensive. So Ninja 600, that was second by far. It handled pretty good. My Dyna Fat Bob, this is third, easily. It handles good. It has a lot more ground clearance than my two Sportsters did. I rarely scrape the floorboards. I mean, they're up a little bit higher, but they rarely scrape. And now off the gravel road to ride back to my house, which sucks. Living up gravel roads suck, at least when you ride a Harley. But an adventure bike maybe, but I mean, Harley does make an adventure bike now. It wouldn't be a bad bike to have, but I'd only have it as a second bike. I'd never get rid of this. I love this bike. They laid down some tar, it looks like. That actually makes it better. Kind of compacts the ground a little bit so it's not so slippery. I don't really miss any of the other bikes I've had except for maybe that 1200 Sportster, because I did so much work to it and making it my own that I do kind of miss it, but I did more work doing on this than I did on that. So, but let me know. I'm Chase, and I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, flick that ding-a-ling if you want to be notified of any new videos I put out. Goodbye, y'all.